Hello, and on this episode of the Mortgage and Protection Podcast, we're talking all about how a joint mortgage works if you are a first-time buyer with Paul from Brick to Brick Mortgage Solutions. It's great to chat with you as always, Paul. How's it all going?
Yeah, it's good, thank you. Yeah, you all right?
Good. Yes, I'm very well. Thank you for asking. As you know, we've got a list of frequently Googled questions here that people are asking, so let's get straight into them. First of all, of course, how do joint mortgages work for first-time buyers?
The same as for second or third time buyers, really. What they do is that they'll use both of your incomes and commitments to gain a knowledge of the maximum borrowing amounts achievable for you. Then, like I say, they work the same as the individual mortgage, but looking at both people as you're both joint and severally liable for the mortgage payments.
Right, okay. So there we go, a clear start there. Thank you for that. So just following on to this question then, my partner is a first-time buyer, but I'm not. What are my options?
If you're both on the same mortgage and the title deeds, then from a stamp duty perspective, they won't class the property as a first-time buyer property, as you both have to be a first-time buyer. There are certain things that you can do where parents are sometimes joint borrowers, and that's where you can have a joint borrower sole proprietor mortgage, which we have done in an episode where we've already done an episode about earlier on, and only one of you on the deed. So bearing in mind that there would only be one property owner then, and the other helping with the mortgage affordability. This is the only way that HMRC would class it as a first-time buyer property, because only one of you legally owns it and on the deeds. There are many options, so we need to have a chat about it. And if you've got any questions about other options, or because everyone's different, and then we can have a chat about what things are out there for you.
Okay, well, thank you for explaining all of that there. And actually, the next two questions follow on from that one. You touched on it there, but I'll read them out anyway. So, do both buyers have to be first-time buyers? Do couples lose first-time buyer status if one partner bought in the past? Just to confirm there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll probably go too much detail on that last one, but yeah, I mean, they do lose the first-time buyer status, yes, if they've previously been on the title deeds of the property, yeah, or a property, any property, if they've been on the title deeds of a property, and then they will lose that first-time buyer status.
Right, okay, so that should be clear there now and something to bear in mind. So let's move on then to this question. People would like to know, do I have to pay stamp duty if my partner is a first-time buyer but I'm not?
Yes, there are certain thresholds which you can check on HMRC website as the first part of the amount of the value of the property, and there's no stamp duty payable. I can't really give tax advice, but please do look at the HMRC website, and that will show that the different levels that you need to pay at.
Okay, brilliant. There we go. So let's look at this question. What does being joint tenants or tenants in common mean?
Joint tenants, that's the most common way of buying a property, which is where you both own the entire property equally. If one of the owners dies, the surviving partner or the surviving owner has their share, whereas tenants in common means each owner has a defined share, and upon death it would be their share that wouldn't necessarily go to the other owner, but distributed how they chose in their will.
All right. Okay. So that answers that one there. Brilliant. Thank you. So moving on to the next two questions. Now, you touched on this a little bit earlier on, especially the second part. So can I get a mortgage with a guarantor? And what is a joint borrower sole proprietor mortgage?
Yes, you can get a mortgage with a guarantor. There was an episode a couple of months back that I did about guarantor mortgages, so you can read back and see that. But nowadays, it is more common to purchase on a joint borrower sole proprietor mortgage. As explained, it's basically a mortgage whereas one applicant is on the deeds and both jointly on the mortgage. I do have lenders also that you can have up to 4 applicants and use 4 incomes, and that can also be used in this scenario where you can have 4 on the mortgage and only one of the people on the deeds, or 2 on the deeds, whatever way you want. But yeah.
Okay, well, that's really useful to know there. Thank you for breaking down the jargon as well. Okay, so 2 popular questions now, but in this case, how much can you borrow as a first-time buyer with a joint mortgage, and how much deposit do I need here?
We need to look at the whole picture for you to find out what the maximum borrowing is, because we need to look at both of the incomes and commitments along with any dependents that you have. And also on terms of the how much deposit you would need, a minimum of 5%, unless you're fortunate enough to be buying your right to buy council property with a lovely discount that you can use for the deposit. There is one lender out there doing 100% mortgages, but they have very strict criteria. Not many people can get it because it's down to what rent they look at, what rent you've been paying in the last year, and look at various things. But we can have a chat about that option. But like I say, there's only one lender. I deal with nearly 100 lenders. There's only one doing that. I don't know how long it's going to be around for, but this is obviously in February 2025. I don't know how long it's going to last.
Oh, brilliant. Well, again, it's useful to know. But as you've said there, just to caveat, all the information is correct at the time of recording in February 2025, as you said there, Paul. Now we've got 3 questions left. So people would like to know, can you transfer a joint mortgage to one person?
Yes, you can. But again, with the HMRC website, I would look at getting some tax advice on that, because there's probably some stamp duty implications on that. So you can do it, but do look at the tax advice side of things first.
Right. Okay. So again, something to bear in mind there, a key pointer. Now, I guess for some maths, Paul, how do you calculate a first-time buyer joint mortgage? Anything else to add here?
I said, remember, we deal with nearly 100 lenders, so we've got systems that will do this all at once and get the maximum amount achievable for you. We would just need your age, income, and commitments to enable us to calculate that. So the standard rule is most lenders will go between 4.5 to 4.8 or 4.9 times income. Obviously, then the commitments come off that. I do have lenders at present that would potentially go for first-time buyers up to 5.5 times. And one came in last week that was, obviously you need to fit certain criteria with them, but that was 6 times income. So that's, again, February 2025. I don't know how long that's going to last, but yeah, that's where we're at on that one.
Yeah, wow. Well, great example there. Thank you for sharing. And just lastly, I mean, you've demonstrated it. As always, we always like to end on this note, though. So how can a mortgage broker help me get a joint mortgage as a first-time buyer? Anything else to add here?
I think we pretty much covered most of it. I mean, you come to us initially, we work out what the maximum borrowing amount will be, and then you will know what property values to look at, and then what deposit you need to save up. And then the process is the same, where when you find somewhere, we get the most suitable option for you, and then guide you the whole way through until the day you move in.
Okay, there we go. Well, Paul, thank you for that as always. Hopefully that's proved useful to anyone listening to this, and I'm sure we'll catch you on another episode soon.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Tessa. Take care. See you soon.
Please note, your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up with your mortgage repayments.